All right. Well, the Kern County Registrar of Voters says some 40,000 people had already voted by day's end of Monday. Thousands more evidently were saving their efforts for Election Day. So what is it about voting in person in this age of mail-in ballots that still draws people to physical polling stations? Our Robert Price set out to answer that question, and in the process, he found a popular new third way to vote.
There are two ways to vote. You can send in your vote by mail ballot, or you can come down to the precinct and vote in person. But for some voters these days, there's a third way. That's where you fill out your mail-in ballot beforehand in the comfort of your own home and then bring it to the polling station where you can experience that most American of activities, voting alongside your fellow citizens. Sound like an odd approach? Consider this. In order to receive a ballot at your polling station, you need to bring your mail ballot anyway and surrender it to a poll worker to assure you don't vote twice. You can still vote if you don't, but it'll be with a provisional ballot that's subject to extra scrutiny. Far better you bring it, marked or unmarked. Either way, you get to experience the pleasure of voting in person, which so many voters still cherish. Manuel Torres says voting is too special, too important to treat the same as, say, paying one's bills.
You mail it in, you feel like mailing your water bill or something in, you know. But I'd rather come in here.
There's something about slipping your completed ballot into the slot at your neighborhood voting precinct, knowing there's no middlemen, no detours along the way. That's what attracts Diane and Harvey Allen to their polling place.
We want to make sure it gets in the box.
Leah Spencer and her granddaughter Cicely Valdez like the security too, but also the social aspect of voting in person.
I feel like I belong more so than if I just drop it off to a steel box. You know, this way I get to say hi to someone.
For Sue Salvucci, voting in person is a way to gauge voter enthusiasm.
I always do like to see how busy it is, who's voting, who's not voting. Kind of surprised not to see anybody here this morning. Usually there is, so I was prepared with a book. Jim Black says vote by mail serves a purpose, just not his purpose if he's in town on Election Day.
When I was going to go out of town, that's how I voted. But if I'm going to be home, I'm going to vote in person. I believe that's the way it should be.
Lindsay McGarr agrees. There's something about the personalized experience.
I wanted to feel like I was participating in the election process, and I know it's fun to get your little sticker in person and all of that.
For Keith Barnes, it's simply a matter of habit.
It's just something I'm used to. It's a tradition. I just come down here and turn in my ballot.
Then there are those among us like AJ Battle. She knows the importance of voting. She just might not get around to the act of voting until the deadline is upon her, sort of like writing a college term paper.
I'm honestly a master procrastinator, and I would much rather just vote in person than mail it in. It just feels more personal to me, the act of going in to vote.
Many consider vote by mail a great convenience, but many still prefer the old-fashioned way, a trip to the polls. Vote by mail, vote in person, or some combination. It's really up to you, as long as you vote. At Bakersfield Racquet Club, Robert Price, 17 News.